case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
The trial court's decision to grant summary judgment in favor of the Joneses was underpinned by the severe nature of Mrs. Jones's injuries and the debilitating effects they had on her life. She was diagnosed with chronic lumbar muscular ligamentous pain syndrome, lumbar mechanical dysfunction, and lumbar radiculopathy, among others. Due to her ailments and the subsequent surgeries, her employment capabilities were compromised, resulting in her inability to return to full or part-time work. The defendants took exception to this point, citing the testimony of their expert who posited that Mrs. Jones could return to her previous job. However, the court did not find this argument convincing and concurred with the Joneses' expert, who opined that returning to work was virtually impossible for Mrs. Jones. The defendants persisted, challenging the $500,000 that the court awarded Mrs. Jones for general damages and the $80,206 for past loss of wages. Despite their attempts to rely on a similar case of a back injury, the court maintained its stance. The court elaborated that while comparing previous awards is allowed, it cannot be done indiscriminately for generically similar injuries without considering the personal and particular effects of the injury on the plaintiff. Each case is unique and should be reviewed within the context of its particular circumstances. In the case of Mrs. Jones, her suffering was manifest. She had had to endure multiple operations and carries a permanent partial disability. As a result, the court reaffirmed the award for Mrs. Jones, including the $348,864 for loss of future wages, stating the amount was not erroneous given her physical condition, the history of her work, and future earning potential. In conclusion, the court dismissed the defendant's appeal and upheld the original ruling, thereby solidifying a legal framework that mandates that pain and suffering, in each particular case, can be thoroughly examined by the court and not just compared to previous parallel cases. The ruling also affirmed the power of the courts to award compensation for future lost wages in personal injury cases. Overall, the Jones versus Harris case provided a comprehensive, empathetic approach to personal injury law, reiterating the importance of circumstantial evidence in assessing damages and enforcing the concept of adequate compensation for the suffering endured by plaintiffs. The Jones versus Harris case provided a comprehensive, empathetic approach to personal injury law, reiterating the importance of circumstantial evidence in assessing damages and enforcing the concept of adequate compensation for the suffering endured by plaintiffs.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class